guys, welcome to iCreate. For today's video, we will be creating this trendy and chic scarf scrunchie. I already uploaded two different scrunchie tutorials. This one's a regular scrunchie. You can finish this in under 10 minutes. And this one's a 2-layer scrunchie. You can try this if you want your scrunchie to be more fashionable or stylish. Check out the links below if you're interested. For the materials, we need 2 pieces of sheer fabric in sizes of 3 by 25 inches for your scrunchie fabric and 5 by 32 inches for your scarf fabric. This one's a bit translucent and has scarf-like texture. 1 piece of 7-inch elastic, pins, marker, rotary cutter, point turner, ruler, and safety pins. First, I'm gonna show you how to cut your scarf fabric ends like this. Fold your big fabric in half, right sides together. Measure 2 inches from the end of your fabric. Mark in the fold and connect it to the upper right corner of your fabric. You can mark it and cut it with scissors, or you can just use your rotary cutter. Then just repeat this step in the other end of your scarf fabric. So it should look like this. Then set this fabric aside. We will now work on our scrunchie fabric. Fold your small fabric in half right sides together and pin it. Then we will sew the ends together. So here's a closer look. We will sew this together in 1/2 inch seam allowance. After sewing the ends and making a loop, lay your fabric flat right sides together with the sewn part on the bottom. Now you have 2 layers. Fold your first layer together like this. This will be your inner fabric. And on top of that, fold your second layer together, and this will be your outer fabric. We will now mark an inch opening on your outer fabric and pin just the lower part only. Then we will just sew just the outer fabric in 1/4 seam allowance. We didn't put any pin on the upper part, so we can pull the inner fabric as we sew. So here's the 1-inch opening, and we will start sewing on the bottom part of your mark. And again, we will just sew the outer fabric in 1/4 seam allowance. Make sure that your needle will not hit the inner fabric, so we can pull it out later as we sew. And once you're near the edge, make sure that your needle is lowered and start pulling out your inner fabric. Then continue sewing. Just adjust your fabric as needed so your needle won't hit the inner fabric. Just repeat this step until you reach the other mark of your opening. So here's the 1-inch opening. Let's just cut the excess thread and turn this right side out. Just pull your inner fabric through your 1-inch opening. That's why it's very important for us not to sew the inner fabric earlier so we can turn our tube right side out properly. We will now insert our elastic to our fabric tube. Attach both of your safety pins to the ends of your elastic. Attach one end near the opening and use the other end to insert your elastic to your fabric tube. Make sure that the both ends of your elastic are secured before you remove your safety pins. Stretch your elastic and tie it, leaving a ½ inch allowance. Fix your scrunchie and insert the knot to your opening. Then we will top stitch this opening in 1/8 seam allowance. Use a coordinating thread and sew close to the edge of your fabric as possible. We will now work on our scarf fabric. Fold your fabric in half, right sides together. Using your pin, we will mark an inch opening in the middle. We will pin it and we will sew the raw sides together in 1/4 seam allowance. We will not sew on the folded side, so we will start sewing from here all the way up to the other end, leaving the 1-inch opening. Don't forget to backstitch. And once you reach the edge, make sure that your needle is lowered. Raise your presser foot lifter and turn your fabric. Then continue sewing until you reach the first mark of your opening. Backstitch. Raise your needle and your presser foot. Adjust your fabric and lower your needle on the second mark so you can leave a 1-inch opening. Backstitch again and continue sewing until you reach the end of your fabric. Just trim the excess thread on your opening. Before turning your fabric right side out, cut your corners diagonally so we can pop it properly later. Make sure not to cut through your stitches. You can now turn your fabric right side out through your 1-inch opening. Grab your point turner, insert it to the opening, and pop out the corners of your fabric. Next step is we will seal our opening by top stitching this in 1/8 seam allowance. Again, use a coordinating thread and sew close to the edge of your fabric as possible. Then we will iron our scarf fabric flat in medium heat to prevent your fabric from burning. For the last part, we will now tie our scarf fabric to our scrunchie. So grab your scrunchie and place it on the center of your scarf fabric, hiding the top stitch part. Using your right hand, rub the upper part of your scarf and wrap it around from right to left. Then tuck it through. Make sure that your scarf has the same length and your top stitch is completely hidden before pulling its knot. Just fix your knot and your scrunchie as needed. And now we're done with our scarf scrunchie. If you find this video helpful, please like and consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. Have a productive day. Bye!